Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kill Jadis, and I am a grumpy Raider fan. Today is going to be our Raiders recap finale of this year. Such high hopes for this season, wasn't it? With the off season coming and us getting, a lot of doubts with the new coach of Josh McDaniels, as well as Dave Ziegler, and not having Bisaccia as our coach instead. Gave a lot of doubt until we got to acquiring the talent of Devontae Adams, to which we all thought, and even I bought into this hype. I thought that we were going to be playoff contenders, if not possibly Super Bowl bound. Boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong about that. But needless to say, let's go ahead and get into this recap. So for this recap, in there, guys, I'm going to go over the stats, as well as how we did as a team and whatnot, and of course also going over our team leaders, and then of course we're going to get into our bacon praise burger turd sandwich bit and whatnot. But either way, let's go ahead and get to it. Our results: 6-11, with our homes being 4-4, our away record being 2-7. Division, we end up in third. Division being 3-3. Conference, we were 13th, which is a 5-7 record for conference. Non-conference games were 1-4. Did not even make the playoffs. Absolutely horrid. But let's go ahead and move on to that, though. Here is our rankings, guys. As you can see, for passing, we were kind of in the middle of the pack there. The bad part was interceptions. Derek Carr pretty much tied for first place, even though many people say Dak Prescott was the guy that should be leading, because after all, he played less games than Carr. Still, the fact that he is, stupid. Quarterback rating, as you can see, is also not that good. First downs, just right in the middle of the pack. Yeah, obviously the longest thing was going to be stuff. As you can see, with guys, we went over the longest passing play and everything. That's always up for grabs and everything and whatnot. But one positive thing can be is that again, we were kind of in the middle of the pack when it came to sacks allowed. So that's a good thing. But moving on to rushing. Yeah, we picked up in rushing, but still wasn't good enough. Again, in the middle of the pack and everything. The good thing about it is, again, you see with our stats, we're first in rushing first downs, and not only that, but we have the longest rushing play, and that of course was against the Seahawks, and that ended up in a touchdown. Hence why it was technically first in the league. Moving on to receiving, our receiving core was okay. It was again in the middle of the pack as usual. So there's that. As you can see, guys, we're in the middle of the pack here. So yeah, let's just go ahead and just move on. Scoring, we just we did okay, but not good enough. Everything was not good enough. Moving on now, guys, to defense. So our defense sucked. I mean, yeah, we did good in some things, but I mean, look at that. I mean, basically, we were third. We were pretty much third in completion percentage, which means the ball was not going to be knocked out of people's hands. It was not going to be deflected. It was always going to end up in receiver hands. Horrible. Pretty much our passing game was Swiss cheese. Moving on to rushing, we did a little bit better with rushing, but I mean, still, that the fact of the matter is, again, people were able to run on us at the crucial moments and get what they needed, and unfortunately, not good enough. Scoring. Here's our defensive rankings. Fumbles recovered for a touchdown. We recovered 2, which is nice, and of course we also returned an interception for a touchdown as well. So unfortunately, we need more of that and less of the other stuff, but it's just not happening. Turnovers, we've had, it was really good. Again, 10th, 11th, tied in forced fumbles and everything. Interceptions again. We just had the one little interception for a touchdown, but 6 interceptions. Dead last in interceptions. We gotta do better in our pass defense because it's becoming a pass heavy league. If you can't do that, what's the point? That is something that greatly needs to be done. Here's our special team rankings. Of course, it's Daniel Carlson with this stuff. He's just been phenomenal. Look at his stats. I mean, 34-37. 91.9%. On the field. Phenomenal work by this guy. He should have been a Pro Bowler, but then again, Justin Tucker has always bested him within the past year and then also this year. Unfortunately, it sucks. But moving on though, kickoff returns. We definitely did not do good on our kickoff returns. We pretty much sucked in our kickoff returns. Punt returns was not any better. It was worse. There's nothing you can do about this. I mean, we just gotta be better. Either that or we need to. We the more times we return punts, the better it's going to be for us. Kick returns if we're not allowing them to score touchdowns, then our kick return stats should be low. Why can't we do that? I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words with this. So here's our kicking. Look at all those stats. I mean, couple last places. Most of them, kickoffs and punts, just not very good rankings at all whatsoever. Here is our Raiders versus the NFL. So pretty much the NFL, the entirety of the NFL beat us out. They beat us out on first downs, both with rushing, passing, and and we actually tied by penalties. Third down conversions, so they got more than us, and the same thing with fourth down conversions. We did better with fourth down conversions, luckily. Total offense though, we sucked. Shows it with 1,077 compared to 5.8 yards. Total rushing yards, they beat it. The NFL beat us out. We should have been running the ball more. I guarantee you, we would have been winning games if we actually utilized the run game in our first half of the season. But we didn't do it because Josh McDaniels is an idiot. That is plain and simple. He was an idiot and did not run the ball enough during the first part of our season. Guarantee you, we could have been at worst 2-3. Best would have been 5-0 entering the bye week, but we didn't because Josh McDaniels is an idiot. Moving on. Passing yards, they beat us out on that. Sacks. We somehow beat the NFL in sacks. Good job on our defense for at least doing that. We beat out the mountain in field goals, but we take losses and touchdowns. You might don't see it because my picture is blocking it, but as you can, there's touchdowns, rushing, passing, returns, defensive, and then turnover ratio. Turnover ratio, we are -8. -8. Meaning we turned over the ball 8 more times than our opponents. You gotta give our team a pat on the back for such lackluster performance. Like, seriously. Horrible. All right, let's go move on to team stats. So the leader, of course, is Derek Carr in yards with 3,522. Completion percentage, attempt percentage, it was Stidham. Even though he played less games, he still played a couple more. He still played enough games to garner this, but with a 63.9% of completions. Touchdowns, Carr. Interceptions, Carr. Longest pass, though, was by Carr and Stidham tying each other with 60 yards. Sacked, though, it was Derek Carr with that. And the best QB rating was Jarrett Stidham, even though he played only 2 games. Moving on to rushing. So for attempts, Josh Jacobs leads the way. I mean, pretty much it's Josh Jacobs all the way when it comes to rushing. 1,653 yards, 4.9 yard average. 86 was his longest, which was that run against the Seahawks. And, of course, 12 touchdowns. Receiving, you have Adams basically leading most of this. The only problem is that Hollins tied Adams for that 60-yard, for the longest, which is 60 yards. So 100-yard reception for Adams, 1,516 yards, 15.2 yard average, 14 touchdowns. Defense, you have a lot of going on. So Crosby has the most tackles with 89. Solo tackles was actually Harmon. Diablo hit the assists on that one, so he always got help for his tackles. Crosby had 12.5 sacks, but no one got any safeties, so unfortunately there's no things. Fumbles, it was Crosby that did the most fumbles. Interceptions is a tie between Harmon, Perryman, and Robson. All 3 of them had 2 interceptions. Interception yards, though, was led by Harmon. Interception yards per reception is Harmon. Longest interception is Harmon again. Interception touchdown, Harmon. He completely, when it came to the interceptions, he blew everyone out of the water. So good job to Crosby and Harmon on that. So we got field goals, of course. The man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Carlson. As you can see, here's his stats. He pretty much was automatic in the 20-yard, 30-yard area. Now, a couple hiccups on the 40 and the 50 yards. But that's okay, though. He is still clutch. He is still awesome. Punting, A.J. Cole, of course, he leads the way because he's our only punter. 59 punts, 2,884 yards, 48.9 yard average. Longest was 67. None of them were blocked. Only 25 of them were returned. Return yards, 274. And only, all 26 of them were inside the 20. We need to bump those numbers up. AJ Cole, let's get some boot on you so you can thunder it down to where it should be inside the 20. All right, guys. So here we go for returning punt returns. It is Keelan Cole that leads for returns 13. Fair catches 8. Yards per return though is Hunter Renfrow with 5.8. Longest though Renfrow, but there's no touchdowns. Kick returns, Abdullah leads the way for everything in returns, 26. 543 yards, 20.9 yard average. 34 is his longest. It was that. Here we go, guys, with my least favorite portion of this god dang video. Here we go, guys. It is the Bacon's Praise Burger versus the Turd Sandwich. You already know what we're going with, guys. It is turd sandwiches all day long. What is a Praise Burger? Well, if you are at work or something like that and you have a coworker that is just not doing something that they're supposed to be doing, instead of beating them senseless with the nearest tool you have, kind of like this controller, maybe you should give them a praise burger. And what a praise burger is you give the person positive praise, basically something that they're doing right. Then you do constructive criticism to give them what basically is just to tell them what they need to improve, and then you finish it up with a positive praise. Of course, this is the turd sandwich. So guess what? We are going to go with the opposite, where it is simply just criticism with a little bit of praise, followed by criticism. Here we go. This is what makes me grumpy, the grumpy Raider fan. You failed my goal from the very start. Let's just go ahead and get that over with. I wanted this team to at least make the playoffs. It didn't matter if it was a wild card. I wanted these guys to make the freaking playoffs. But you didn't. You failed miserably. With all the hype that surrounded you through this entire offseason, you failed. Like, seriously, guys. What the hell? Idiot decisions on the part of freaking play calls. Like, I don't know what it is with how you guys decide to, but it was negligent when it came to offensive play calls. And then there were some stupid defensive play calls. Like, yes, the defense was at first horrible and you guys kicked it into gear in the end, but still, that should not be happening. Especially with what we were expected to do. All right, let me get this out of the way. The one positive that I can give to you guys, to give to our team, is they beat the Seattle Seahawks. I wasn't able to do the Raiders recap video or do anything about this, but for those who tune into Raiders Fan Radio, you guys all know how much I hate the city of Seattle and the Seattle Seahawks, especially their 12th man, the fans. I hate that team, and I hate their fans. I hate them more than I do with the Chiefs and the other rivals that we have. We beat them. That is a job well done to you guys. That is the only positive that I have from you guys, is that you guys at least beat those sucky, sufferable, second-class seasonals known as the Seattle Seahawks. Moving on, though. Offensive line, though, you were horrendous. Granted, you guys were able to piece together some great efforts, but it still wasn't enough. You caved in when we needed you guys the most. And that's the frustrating part about it. You guys were inconsistently good. Like, you would be great on one day, but then you would just fall flat on your face the next. But that's the problem. You are inconsistently good, but consistently bad. Which is very infuriating for a fan like me. With that consistently bad part, you have the Chiefs game.
Bruh.
Where they decided to play Ring Around the Rosie.
Bruh.
With you guys. And then go and make a play. And it worked?
Bruh.
What in the hell are you guys doing?
Bruh.
That is just beyond horrible. It's like you guys didn't care to try to beat them. I don't care what happens. Someone should have been swinging. Someone should have been throwing fists and getting themselves kicked out of the game. This is the Chiefs we're talking about. And they play the Ring Around the Rosie with you before they broke the huddle and they threw a touchdown pass. If you're not slugging someone and getting yourself kicked out of the game, I don't know what's going on. That should never happen. Unbelievable. Stupid. Are you guys happy? Are you satisfied? Look who are the Super Bowl champs. This icon above me. Those are the Super Bowl champs. How does that make you feel? Huh? When I was born, you guys were the best in the AFC West. Historically, you were the greatest AFC West team. 35 years later, now you are no longer that. Are you satisfied? Unfreaking real. I don't care about what happened during the game. This is the end result. They are now tied with us in Super Bowl wins. They have a better record than us. They are tied with AFC West titles. They are tied with us. But they have the better record. Therefore, the Chiefs are now historically the best team in the AFC West. A title you guys held for over 35 years. Give or take, let me guess, 37, 38 years? 39 years? You guys held that title. Now it's gone. I'd say it's all due to negligence. Stupid. What is it going to take for this team to get their butts in gear? Raider Nation, we do not deserve this. We do not deserve the level of play that is going on right now. We deserve better coaching. We deserve better players. We deserve better play from those players. I really hope that there's some people out there that are as fed up as me with this team. I really do. I hope so. That's it. We're going to have to move on, though. New season's ahead of us without our star quarterback, which I'm going to get to later on. That's it. Catch you later. Bye.